Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
For those stronger storms moving in. So for the weekend, I know we've got a lot of weekend plans going on. Maybe you're getting excited to go pick out a pumpkin, go to those fall festivals. We got college football this weekend, a lot of postseason baseball, and you want to know how are we going to have to fight the rain? What's going on? So we will see some rain in Kansas City as well as St. Louis by the time we get to Saturday, and this will be the area that we're watching very closely for the chance of some stronger storms. So St. Joseph, Kansas City, Salina, Kansas, Emporia, stretching up into the Lincoln, Nebraska. That's going to be the zone for the later half of Saturday. Kansas City, that means a pretty stormy pattern for you for the first part of the weekend. Starting around 8 o'clock on Saturday night, continuing well into Sunday morning. That will eventually clear out by the second half of Sunday. But Sunday, look at what happens as we see the rain and storms just kind of spread across the Midwest over into the Ohio Valley, up into areas like Chicago. So many of us will see a stormier Sunday. A couple of exceptions being Jackson, Nashville, Atlanta, over into Charlotte, but that will happen for the beginning of next week. Alex?
So a bit unsettled here, but even more unsettled as we work our way westbound with bunches of rain coming in.
A lot of rain, and this is kind of that atmospheric river setup, and I like to think of that as basically just taking a fire hose and turning it on, because that's what we're going to see from Seattle all the way down to San Francisco, where some significant rainfall is on the way. Already seeing some rain this morning in San Fran, as well as up into Redding, and even some light snowfall around the Lake Tahoe area. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. Anyways, let's move into the future here. Friday, we're still seeing rain moving into Reno, Lake Tahoe, the Sierra Nevadas, stretching up into Redding, Medford, all the way into Portland. Even some significant snowfall moving across the Idaho area, stretching into Salt Lake City. This is going to continue all the way throughout the weekend, so an extremely unsettled pattern as we head into the weekend. And just look at this stripe of snowfall. This is really good for some of the ski resorts setting up for the season. This is going to be a good base for early on in the season. This is even into Monday, although this could be a little bit too much of a good thing because we do have some burn scars in the area, and we haven't seen a lot of rain in the summer season. So this means that we will likely see some flash flooding, especially around some of those burn scars from some of the larger fires. 8 to 12 inches of rain possible in those red areas that you see in Northern California. Medford, anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain, 3 to 5 inches of rain as we go into Portland. And look at some of these higher areas of snowfall, the Sierra Nevadas, up into the Boise area, over into Salt Lake City. That's where we could be seeing some really big early season snowfalls. This system eventually makes its way into the central part of the country by Sunday.
Wow.
It's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
And speaking of a lot of water,
we've got that coming into the West Coast.
We certainly are.
Hopefully nothing like we had to deal with there, but it could be a problem here for us because we've got a number of areas. Of course, it's been so dry here in the West. Fires have been burning, it seems like, constantly, and these are a few of the fires that have left burn scars. The Monument Fire, the Dixie Fire, and the Caldor Fire here for us. And when you have burn scars and bring in rain on top of that, that can be a problem.
And we're not just bringing in a little bit of rain. We're talking about, in some spots, potentially a foot of rainfall moving in. And when that falls on top of the burn scars, you get runoff really quickly. So the flash flooding concern, that's going to be high as we go over the next couple of days into the weekend. There's already a flash flood watch out for areas like Redding, the I-5 corridor down into Paradise. Likely this will be extended, and likely we will see other areas brought into this flash flood watch.
Yeah, because this wet weather pattern that we're in is sticking around for quite some time, at least into the early part of next week. So let's talk about these burn scar areas, and essentially it's the burned areas that are left void of any kind of vegetation because it's been burned, right? And that essentially acts as a water repellent. That burned soil repels water, and it almost acts as pavement. So water, as it comes down, just runs off as opposed to getting absorbed.
And even if it's not raining really heavy in your area, if you know that you're near a burn scar, that runoff can still make it to you.
And these burn scar areas will stay pretty prone to flooding for quite some time. This is not kind of a week or two thing. It can lead to flooding and be prone to that for 2 years. So this is something that we're going to have to deal with here for a couple more years in those burn scarred zones.
And with how big those burn scar areas are, it's going to take a lot of time. I would say potentially in some spots more than 2 years to see a full recovery to the soil and the ground.
All right, so let's take you through the rest of this week into the weekend. There comes more wet weather here for us. Now, there will be some snow to contend with as well. High elevation snow, parts of the Cascades, and eventually the Sierra get involved in that as well. Because we're tracking, again, a few systems. Each of these will be a little bit more powerful, bringing in some cooler air as well. And so, yeah, we've got all modes of precipitation to track here over the coming days.
And in some spots, we're going to see some significant early season snowfall, which I know it will be welcome to many of these areas, especially the Sierra Nevada. That's where we desperately need some snowfall, and that's where we're going to get it. And that's going to continue until the early part of next week. More rain moving into Redding. And when we put the wildfires, the
it's going to stay hot there. In fact, that's part of the weekly planners. Things playing pretty warm and summer-like there in the Lone Star State.
We are watching this frontal boundary make its way through the southeast, extending up into the northeast, bringing some rain today, and then again tomorrow, but it starts to ease its way back into the Atlantic as our next system moves into the west.
And that's going to hang around, keeping things wet into Saturday. We talked about it. This is a pattern that we're going to be in for some time. So get ready to stay wet there. Sunday as well. And then we also see, finally get back into the middle of the country, the chance for rain coming back.
And keep an eye on Dallas because, yes, we're still 88 in Dallas, but those temperatures will start to fall eventually. Not quite by the time we get to Monday. Cooler weather moving once again into Atlanta, up into Chicago with some more rain and storms moving through. Still seeing rain and snow in the west. And then as we get into, this is Tuesday, we're still seeing rain in areas like Fargo, over into the southeast and to the northeast. And then look at this. Dallas, there we go.
There it is.
Takes some time, but we finally make it into the